I do want you to trust what you're feeling, and I want you to lean into it and explore it and be curious about it and be open to it and to not fear it.
Yeah.
Because something is being revealed to you and it's calling you. And baby, fear and freedom can coexist.
Gabrielle Bernstein, a role model for spiritual seekers.
I've always had this dream to go out to California. I live in New York now. But since then, I ended up meeting the love of my life, my girlfriend, speaking event. Yeah, and she's here with me tonight.
Yes,
Her name's Brooke.
girlfriend, yes.
And she's amazing. And I've been starting to get some opportunities here on the East Coast, and I want to move in with her, and we want to be here together, but there's still this nagging part of me that's like, no, you gotta go. And I don't know why, but I just gotta go. I gotta go to the West Coast. I gotta do the thing.
So that's your intuition, or do you think that's your fear?
That is what is killing me. I don't know. I don't know.
When you feel the call to go to LA and you feel the call to leave and do that,
Yeah.
what do you feel?
Do you want me to be really honest?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I feel really free.
It feels really free.
Yeah, and I'm guilty that I feel so free about that.
Because that would mean leaving her? Sorry.
No, Brooke, you would go to LA with me. You would.
So then what's the problem?
Because everyone's here, my family's here, my
Everybody's
friends are here, the connections that I have, the opportunity to serve people is here.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense, and I don't know why.
Okay. Say that? Okay, the girlfriend
Yes.
speaking. Okay. So the clientele,
can't even see you, but yeah.
The clientele is here and the people that you support are here, but you need to fly and be free.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah. I don't even need to be here. I mean, you are getting totally Dear Gabby right now. So I think, listen, your response and your reaction, when many people come to me, and I'm going to speak to you and to them, many people come to me and they'll say, what's the difference between my ego, my fear, and my intuition and my inner guidance? And it's often when you ask yourself the questions, you actually talk to the beliefs and you start to turn inward and you start to say, well, what do you feel like when I think of you, right? So when I think of this thing that I'm thinking about, whether it's going to LA, what does it feel like? Your first thing, you said, do you want me to be honest? I was like, yes. And you said, free. Free. That doesn't sound like fear to me.
Yeah.
And baby, fear and freedom can coexist.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Mm-hmm. And I said, be of service, be of service, be of service. But some of you out there might be big empaths and, so there's might be some codependent people in this audience, you know who you are. And that you might have been like, oh my God, thank God she told me I could be of service, right? But that's actually sometimes not the best advice. When I speak of being of service, I want you to genuinely allow that service to come through you. But if you're being of service to people who you think, oh, they need me, and I need to stick around for them, there's nothing wrong with that at all, but check on where that's coming from. Where is that coming from for you?
I wanna dial in
The
on
girlfriend
this question.
chiming in is like legit the best thing I've ever experienced. I live for her.
Okay, wait. There were two. Now I don't know which one to answer, but.
Just check in, because listen, it may or may not, maybe it is that you go at another time, but that you're being called. So I don't choose to force people to push them into things that feel scary, but I do want you to trust what you're feeling. And I want you to lean into it and explore it and be curious about it and be open to it and to not fear it.
Yeah.
Because something is being revealed to you and it's calling you. And those are your words. It's calling me, it's pulling me. It is your intuition. So trust that. You don't have to act on that. You could act on that in a year from now.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be right here, right now. Mm-hmm. But just keep listening. Ask for the signs. Let your girlfriend take a breath.
No. She's like, oh, baby. Okay.
Do you want to go to LA, girlfriend? Yes, I'll go. Okay.
Oh! We're going to LA, baby.
And we got a lot of friends in this house that have been, in LA, and so they'll come talk to you. And Josh back there has spent a lot of time in LA. He's a
Great.
producer. He'll help you.
Amazing.
Go to poor Josh. He's like, I didn't sign up for this.
I just got a new job. I don't need another job.
No, but you can always. I told him to be of service, so
Yeah,
okay,
amazing.
beautiful, and just trust that you can have an intuition, but you don't have to act on it immediately. Okay.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Gabby.
You're so special. Thank you, Lila. Good one. Good one. That was a good. Did anybody get anything out of that where you're like, yeah, that's I needed that. Good. Okay, bring him out. The next guest, Sam. Oh, hello, gentleman.
Hello.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm really good.
Good.
I'm feeling it.
All right.
You are so on my talk show right now. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta get comfortable. Okay.
That's funny.
That was a lot of pillow.
All right, so here's my question, as they told me to ask in the back. Just ask my question. So it actually changed.
your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Jason from Baltimore.
Jay.
So I had a different, Baltimore. So on the way up here, I had a different question. Rode the train, and so you got hit with the news of Twitch, and so it completely changed my question. So what it is how could I or we be of service to recognize people using intuition, when to say something, when to speak, when to reach out, and using our gifts to be able to do that. And realizing that we've all probably gone through that moment in our brains where we felt we didn't want to be here.
Yeah, so he's referencing suicide. Is that right? Yeah. Well, the outreach is imperative right now. The checking in. We are not responsible for others, but we are here to be in the service of others. That is our role as miracle workers. And so if you have that intuition, oh, so-and-so seems to be really struggling right now, reach out. If you haven't heard from so-and-so in a while, reach out. If you are in any way concerned, reach out, because it could be that one voice on the call that makes the difference. Now, sometimes you don't always know. You can see people, they look really happy on the outside, just like this situation. And we have to trust that his soul made a choice, and we have to trust that he is at peace, and more peace than he could have here. Now, as it relates to mental health and as it relates to showing up, our presence is our power. So you may not always have all the right words. You may not always have the right methods. You might be listening to Dear Gabby and have a few things that you want to share with people, or give a book, or share an episode, or any other book from any other person or any other author. But most importantly, what you can share, or your own methods and beliefs and gifts. But the most important thing that you can give, my friend, the most important thing you can give is your presence. And I know that in the times in my life when I've struggled most, it's not the words that I remember, it's the presence of the people who showed up and the energy that's around. And so the world is in a very big crisis, and suicide is on the rise. Child suicide is on the rise. I mean, we know the real truth of what's happening in this world. And we have to do our part to be the light wherever we go. Because the only way that we can have an impact is to continue to show up in our highest and best and continue to be of service in the ways that we know how. And by the way, you're asking me this question, how do I know? Well, I want you to say prayer every morning.
Okay.
I want you to pray every morning. Okay. How may I serve?
Yeah.
And your compassion is beautiful, and I really appreciate it. And you are a very calm presence. Use that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I was on your Dear Gabby episode too.
I remember you.
Yeah.
I do remember you. What happened that day?
That was when I asked you about when my father died, and I kept feeling my grandmother, Olivia. And
Did I start channeling your grandmother or something?
maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and
Or I was like, she was there. She was
yeah,
with
and
us.
I wanted to know how to keep that contact and using that as a healing mechanism for either others or myself.
Have you been?
Yes,
How's it going?
big time.
Big time.
Yeah.
How's it going?
So I'll have dreams. I'll have when I'm doing Reiki, I'll have other visions and things like that of people, and I kind of sometimes will immediately reach out to those people and say, "Hey, how's such and such doing?" Or it'll just be a vision. It'll just pop up, and sometimes I'll act on it. Sometimes I won't, depending on the person. So I just try to use my intuition to guide me through that when it is okay.
That's right. And I like that you're discerning about it because you never want to overshare. You never want to impose something that may not be what somebody's ready for.
Yeah.
And remembering that everybody can exercise their own free will, but you can be a guide. And sometimes it's nice to say, not to say, oh, I channeled this for you, but just to say, I'm wondering how you're doing with XYZ.
Right.
And let them reveal it to you.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are, and you're a Reiki healer? Dude, get me on the table. His energy is so wonderful, right? It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Your father's working through you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Appreciate you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Helene.
Helene, how are you? Sweetness.
A little nervous.
You look so good, so just shake it.
Thank you. So the first thing I'll say is I actually said, well, I didn't say to myself, my spirit said to me that I was going to be on the show.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're on the show. You heard it.
And it's interesting because I've never watched your show before. I've never read any of your books.
Girlfriend.
I looked a little at the YouTubes. But there was something about you where it was, something spoke to me,
Okay.
right? And this is obviously just based on visual, audio visual rather. And I purchased a ticket by myself and I said, I'm just gonna come and see you. And here I am.
Diving in head first.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
So what's your question, my love?
So, I don't believe in coincidences, and you talked a lot about service tonight. And during the pandemic, my mom had a stroke, and I'm her only child. My father's deceased, so it's just the two of us at this point. And, I sprung into action, got her the care she needed, moved her from Brooklyn to Westchester, where I live, and a lot of stuff. Working my corporate job, which was I thought it was my dream job at that time, actually prior to that. And then I got a deeper call to serve because I was serving my mom, right? And I decided that I'm gonna walk away from this corporate job and become a coach. And I actually, something that I've never done anything like that before. I've always played things pretty safe, right? Went to college, grad school, all this stuff, right? And, but there was something in me that I needed something more rewarding. And I went through the training, and now I'm still going through the process in terms of, building the business, et cetera. And things are in alignment, but there's still some doubt as to whether or not this is really my calling. I've had an opportunity to actually even coach a couple of friends that they're like, Helene, this is really for you. You have this. Like, this is what you should be doing. But there's still this voice of doubt, right?
Okay.
Like this other little
Okay, so
power.
there's a little voice of doubt. Okay. Let's get curious about that voice. What's that voice feel like to you?
It doesn't feel like the truth.
There you go. There you go.
but it's still there.
It's still there. Okay, okay. So let's choose again.
Okay.
Let's hear that voice and say, thank you for sharing. But I forgive myself for having that thought.
Right.
And if we were to choose again right here, now, do it with me, okay? So what's the next best feeling thought from that voice?
That I shouldn't do that. I should listen to the higher power.
Okay, so then tell me more about that.
Part of that, there's some shame as well in terms of, do I really want to expose? I am free, like my life is, I'm living it, but there are things that, do I really want to reveal that? But there is a message, and I want to help other people because I think that I have something that can help.
Okay, so sometimes fear reveals to us guidance as well. So there's two things happening here. One, there's a fear of taking that leap, I'm hearing, okay, but we can say, no, thank you. We can say, thank you for sharing fear, and choose again. I'm going to test it out with my friend, and I'm going to go and try out that training online, and so that's the choose again, leaning into the next best feeling thought. But then there's this other piece that I'm noticing is a part of you that wants to be of service through sharing your own story. Is that correct? Okay, so what I want to hear from you is that what I want to share is that story, I bet, is quite sacred to you. And I don't always advise that it come out right away. Because if we share too soon, it could be too shattering and too shameful. That was your words. If the shame could be, we may not have befriended the shame enough yet to share that and expose that. By no means am I saying that you shouldn't. Write it down, write about it, talk about it with friends, therapists, whoever feels safe. And when you feel steady and you feel grounded, then that is your story to share.
Thank you.
That Happy Days book I gave our friend, that's for you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
baby, that's your book.
Thank you.
Yes, and take those tools in that book and use it in your coaching practice.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Go slow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so beautiful.
Love you.
So damn cute.
If you like this video and you want to get more Gabby, check out the next one right over here.